Boo! Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of Makeup and Mythos. Don't know what the title is, it'll be up. We're gonna talk about, eating your own children, doing it with your siblings. It's normal in this world, but still. Vomiting those children, horrible parents, bad fathers, so all of it. Greek mythology, and I'm gonna do a little look inspired by vomiting babies? I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Wish me luck. And yeah, I'm really excited to get into it with y'all. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so I just shaved my eyebrows and pinned my bangs so I look like a crazy person, but whatever, we're gonna get into it. Okay, whew. So I'm just color correcting right now. So last we left off, we kind of covered like the creation of the universe. We talked about, Rhea and Uranus getting it on, creating some interesting looking children, let's just say. Some giants with hundreds of hands and Cyclops. So, everyone's beautiful and unique in their own way. We don't judge here on the channel, but party. And Poppy did not like that, so he threw him into hell. Eventually the children, her other 3 like normal kids, they're just like giant people with powers, so don't know how that's normal, but okay. Human beings didn't exist then, so. Revolted, Kronos specifically chopped him up, and yeah, they're kind of ruling the world now. I did do some more research though, so I think last time I talked about how some of his other siblings actually helped him. So I looked it up, and the people that helped him were Hyperion, Iapetus, Coeus, and Krios. If you don't remember who they are, they're not much very important in the story, but they helped him. And so when basically they killed Sky Daddy, which, I mean, I'm not gonna say it needed to be done, but it needed to be done. I guess since the body or the literal sky doesn't have an avatar anymore, there was no like powerful being to like hold up the sky, right? So it starts crashing down, and what ends up happening is those 4 I guess hold it up. This is before Atlas exists, which you probably know who Atlas is, like holds up the world or whatever. But they held up the 4 corners of it. So, but they also did like normal things, like they weren't stuck like Atlas was. So Hyperion was in the west, Iapetus was in the east, Coeus was in the north, Krios was in the south, and then Kronos was in the center. He probably helped too, but if you're the ruler of the Titan like kingdom, I don't think you're gonna be holding up the sky in your free time. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this base. Okay, I also went and did my eyebrows off screen because I can't really talk while I do that. And yes, I know it's not trendy to do them really skinny, but I like the 20s look, and don't look too close. They're cousins, they're not twins. Okay. So as far as I know, the rule of Kronos, because he kind of ended up taking over. I mean, I guess nobody really cared. I don't know why there wasn't like a fight, but I guess he kind of got the throne because he killed his Sky Daddy. I mean, okay. And as far as I know, I think he had a pretty good rule. It's hard to not like be biased because what he ends up doing is really like horrible, but as far as I know, he wasn't the worst ruler. But don't do fact check me because I don't remember. So yeah, he ends up ruling. He becomes like the king of the gods or whatever, and he ends up marrying his sister. I don't know if it's Rhea or Rhea. I'm so bad at these names. Which, yes, his sister. You gotta think about it like Adam and Eve. If there's only so many people existing on your planet and your sister's just looking fine, who's gonna stop you? And I guess like it wouldn't cause disabilities because they're immortal, but then you're like, okay, Greeks, you wrote this. I guess Adam and Eve did the same thing, so I don't know. it's a weird subject. Everyone's like weirdly related, but doesn't stop them from doing it, which is just like, okay, maybe not physically stuff will happen, but psychologically, that's gotta be weird, right? Like you're growing up. Oh, okay, we need to move on. I need to move on. Okay, so he ends up ruling, as far as I know, it's fairly good rule, until, guys, this is where everything changes. This is when the game goes sideways, is when his wife, I don't know if they're married, sister, God, I should not say that. His partner, lover, ends up getting pregnant, and she gives birth. So, goes well, I guess. There's not too much to say about that. But when she gives birth to her first daughter, who her name is Hestia, by the way, he's like, oh, you know, cool, like, thanks, wife. Picks up the baby, swallows it. Which, first of all, is like, how small is that baby? Are you unhinging your jaw? What? How do you swallow a child? Was it a fetus? Don't let the Republicans know. Don't let them know that it was a fetus! So, yeah, he swallows her. And I can only imagine that Rhea's reaction was horrified. I mean, I don't think anyone saw that coming. But he did that. He woke up and he made that choice. So he eats the child, and so if you don't remember, when he killed his father beforehand, his father cursed him, prophesied, whatever, that his children would also like take over and kill him. Which is like, okay, well then why did you have kids? Like, if you were so worried about that, maybe don't eat them. Maybe just don't have kids. Although I don't know if there were contraceptives. Can someone look that up for me? Were there contraceptives in ancient Greece? He could have just pulled out. Like, this was not the only choice. This was not the one answer to the situation. I'm so sorry. That was not it. That was not it, like, at all. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go fix this. This is way too white. Okay, that looks much better. I'm feeling way more confident about that. So, this continues. They have 4 more kids before she does anything, which every time I hear this story, I'm just like dumbfounded. Like, I don't want to victim blame. I don't. But from what I understand of being a mother, that sounds pretty traumatic to me. And like, I don't know how divorce worked back then. Girl, I would be out of there. He eats 4 more of her children before she does anything. She's just like vibing. Like, I don't know. Again, contraceptives, he couldn't pull out. Maybe he liked the taste of them at that point, which is really gross to think about. But like, come on. There was nothing you could do really before you got to your last 6th child. You couldn't do anything for the 5 that he ate before. So yeah, guys, he just popping them like pills up. Popping those babies like pills. It was bad. I don't know. Again, or you couldn't have just like killed the kids. Like, you had to eat them. You had to eat them. Okay, so this is another gross fact. So because they're immortals, they're not dead in there, girl. They're not thriving. I was about to say they're thriving. They're not thriving. They're in their dad's gut, I guess, because they're not dead. They're immortal. Except for, you know, very specific circumstances do gods actually die. So they're living their lives just inside his gut. So by the time it gets to the 5th child, I guess she finally decides to do something, which good on her, because this has gone on for far too long. Far too long. She finally decides to, once she gives birth again, why was that the choice? Maybe just don't have another kid. God. Whatever. Who am I? I don't know. I don't know. I should have been a Titan. Really. We would have made progress. Okay, I'm getting off track. So she ends up having another kid. And this time, her plan her plan, she's very smart, this woman. Her plan isn't to like, I don't know, try and hide the pregnancy, say the baby died in a like stillbirth. None of that, girl, none of that. She dresses up a rock as a baby. I don't know if I'm not aware of her being able to have illusion magic. Maybe she had a sibling do it for her. I don't know. So she dresses up a rock as a baby and gives it to him. And I guess he just throws it down the hatch. Again, what else was he eating? What else? What else is this man eating that he didn't notice that the child in his arms that he was planning to eat at this point? This is not an accident. This is very much on purpose. It was a rock. And just... why? I don't know. I have no idea. So she ends up, you know, taking the baby because she wants to protect it, which the mother skills are kicking in. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, she's a Titan goddess of fertility, which is like, this seems way more traumatic for the Titan goddess of fertility, but I don't know, because she wasn't doing that much. Sorry, I should not victim blame. I shouldn't victim blame, I'm sorry. So she ends up hiding him away on, oh, where was it? Crete, I think? Yes. And gives him to some nymphs to take care of him. And if you don't know what nymphs are, they're like, first of all, they're fabulous, great. They're like nature spirits. They're usually like beautiful, gorgeous, skinny, naked legends. No, they're just like, oh, what's the difference? Oh, so nymphs are usually like water, I think, no, so nymphs is like the blanket term, like the umbrella term. And then under that is like dryads, who are the spirits of trees specifically. And then, ooh, got it in my eye. And then naiads are like water and stuff. And there's also like stone ones, but I'm not sure what they're called. Yeah, so she ends up giving it to the nymphs to take care of. Don't know which ones they were. Don't really care to find out. And I guess they raised him till he's like, I don't know if he was an adult. He's probably like whatever the maturity ages for a god. And if you ask me what the difference between a Titan and a god is, no clue. Absolutely no clue. They just call the like first generation Titans, and then after that, everybody else is a plain old boring like god or demigod. So I don't know what the difference is, but I guess it doesn't matter. So they raised her there, and that's gotta be weird. He grew up in a cave, and like apparently he cried so loud too, like he had thunderous booms. This is Zeus, by the way. I did not say that, which you probably know who that is. And he's a skanky rat bastard, and we will get into all the stuff eventually with him. But I mean, you thought eating babies was bad? He really, each generation just kind of continues the toxic cycle of horrible men and then like one-ups each other. It's not good. Really not great, actually. So apparently his cries were so loud and thunderous that like they had to have, I think it was goats outside to cover his screams with their bleeding. He drank like goat milk for his whole childhood, which I wonder how healthy that was. Again, I don't know, God things. I guess he didn't need like anything else besides that. But so yeah, I'm gonna finish this eyeshadow and then we'll get on to some more of the stone. And you know what else just occurred to me that's very interesting? I feel like the Titan family is also part of the problem. Like, you can blame them. I mean, they had to know she was pregnant, right? And what, they thought that they were all just like stillbirths or miscarriages too? But she lied to them and not her husband? I highly doubt Kronos was there for the birth. Like, what about her sisters? They just were, I don't know, did they like Kronos being in power? That's suspicious. They could have, sure he was strong, but they could have banded together and taken him down, like if they really wanted to. But they didn't? That's interesting. Can someone go find them, please? bring them back for interrogation. We have some questions for them. They are not off the hook yet on this mistreatment of her and her children. And I might be insinuating here, but like in my mind, Cronus is like an abusive husband. I don't know, how could he not? This just red flags. Red freaking flags. So Zeus, I don't know like when he learned about this, but I guess eventually he finds out like what happened to the rest of his siblings, like where the rest of his family is at, which is like, yikes, sorry, who's told him that? Who had that job? That's unfortunate for someone. Once he finds out, he decides to go and save them. He disguises himself as a like, not a waiter. I don't know the Greek term for that. I don't know. So he ends up serving him, Kronos, a drink that made him nauseous and like throw up, which with like a special herb in it. I want to know what that herb is, girl. I'll be using that on people all the time. Probably not legal, but why not? And he throws up the babies, who aren't babies anymore. They're all adults. Or I guess they might be teenagers. I'm not sure how old Zeus was. Whatever, again, maturity. And this is something weird that I've always thought was very interesting. Their ages are not like taken into account of like when they were actually born, but who was vomited up first, because that's when their life like really began or whatever. Some symbolism bullshit. Which is so weird to me. But they threw up in reverse, so I guess... Ooh, that's weird. I guess Poseidon was first, if I'm reversing it right. Yeah, so Poseidon was first. And for those of you who don't know, again, lots of these people are included in lots of popular media. So you'll probably know. He ends up, I'm just giving you a little bio now, becoming the god of the ocean, the sea, horses, another notorious rapist. Lots of them are. We'll get into that later. So that's his basic gig. And then next, I believe, was Hades, who ends up becoming the king of the underworld, also the god of wealth, which is really interesting because there's lots of like gold and shit underground, which is cool. Don't get him confused with the god of death, though. That's a completely different dude, not the same thing. The fandom will come for you. And then next we have Hera, who is the goddess of, I think she's also a fertility goddess, but I could be wrong. I think she might just be like a marriage, family, what else? I think that's her basic gig. She sounds boring, but trust me, she's cool. I really love her. Again, not a great person, but none of them are. Really. Yeah, Hestia might be the only one that has never done any wrongs. And then next, that was vomited up, we have Demeter, the goddess of the harvest. So she's technically a nature god, but more of like civilized farming, cultural nature, if that makes sense. That's a bad way to describe it. Yeah, farmers. Sounds lame, but she sells nature magic, which I find cool. And then the next one was, no, it was reversed. Hestia was before Hera. Because I went reversed. Shit, did I fuck it up? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. I think I reversed it. Reversed. Really fun. And then Hestia, yeah, Hestia was first in the vomit. Dang it. I messed the whole thing up. Whatever. And she is the goddess of the hearth, which most people don't know what that is. It's because it's not really like a thing anymore. But like in Greek days, when it was cold, there was like a fireplace in the middle of the house. not sure if they had chimneys. I don't think most houses did, but I could be wrong. But it was like one center, like fireplace where the family could gather, where, you know, the mother patriarchal society would cook the food. That's where people would eat, talk, because it was warm. It was just like the gathering spot. So she's kind of the, I think she's also technically a family goddess, but in like a more wholesome way than Hera is. But I think she's technically famous. Also, I think she's also a fertility goddess. But like in the birthing sense. I think I could be wrong. She doesn't do a lot, but she's just great. She's just a good person, which is very rare. So they all get vomited up, and I guess, I don't know, I guess he didn't try and kill him or eat him again. Somehow they escaped. Zeus basically claims to be the leader, informs them, you know, girlies, you've been in his stomach for like years, we gotta do something about it. And decides to start a revolution. Big choices, but before that, they need to gear up, and we're gonna get into that next, because I got some detail work to do. Okay, so the dream team is ready. The mighty six, the 6 first gods, they're ready to go. And so am I. Which, by the way, I didn't know how to do like a non-disgusting interpretation of the theme of today's episode, which is vomiting and eating babies, because it's most interesting. So I think this is the most camp way I can do vomit without actually getting some SFX stuff, which I would love to do, but I ain't got the time. I ain't got the time right now. So they decide, girl, we need more help. A couple of the Titans already agreed to team up with them because I guess they didn't like him, which why didn't they do anything before, but okay. And so they decide to head down to Tartarus, where, oh, I forgot to fucking say this shit. This is insane. Kronos, ended up imprisoning the 100-handed ones and the Cyclops again. You remember when your mom asked you to go free him? And that's part of the reason why you killed your dad? Did you forget that? Selective memory on this one. I guess he, you know, agreed with his dad that they were kind of uggos and threw him back in jail. So Zeus, again, this cycle repeats itself, girl, decides to head down and go free him and ask them for some weapons. And, okay, I mean, he's playing smart because they were both, as far as I know, very skilled forge workers, weapon makers, armor makers. So I guess that was the one thing, smart thing Zeus has ever done. So he heads down, and there is this, you just casually walk into hell. There's this monster named Camp? And I'm doing camp makeup. Oh my god, full circle. I'm trying to fix my bangs. And she is guarding it, and oh god, can I even remember what she looks like? She's a psycho. She's got like, I guess she's technically a Gorgon. She's got like snake hair, wolf heads on her torso, and then like the lower half of a dragon. Oh, Greeks are weird. I don't know what they were on when they were thinking about her. So she's guarding the 100-handed ones with the Cyclops. They manage to get past her. I think they trick her. Not exactly sure. I don't think they kill her. I don't even know how they would do that. The 6. And they get down to the 100-handed ones and they say, okay, girl, we're gonna release you if you give us some shit. We need some weapons to take down our dad. And I don't know if they could release them or if they just need weapons and then we're like, we'll get you back later. That's a lot of research for me. So they end up getting them to give them weapons. Zeus gets his famous lightning bolts. Hades gets a helmet of invisibility, which sounds really lame. Like compared to freaking lightning bolts. Lame. But he gets it. I need to clear my lip again. A little bit more. And I don't know. Oh, I think he can also like travel through shadow with it or something. It was better than just like a normal invisibility helmet. And then Poseidon gets his trident, which can cause like earthquakes and shit, which I didn't get for a really long time, like what that had to do with the ocean, but then I went to high school science class and I learned, so, you know, they were teaching us Greek mythology in elementary school and I had no idea what that had to do with absolutely anything. And they get these weapons and they're ready for a fight. They're ready to rebel. They're ready for war. Again, don't know why none of the girls got weapons. I think they're just as powerful. Zeus is like powerful, but like the sexism? Why didn't they get weapons? I don't get it. Like, did they only have a certain amount of resources? They could have gotten some cool shit. I mean, I don't know what Hestia would do or Hera. Demeter eventually gets the scythe, but anyways, we're getting off track. They should have gotten weapons. I will fight for them till the day I die. And they're ready for war. And we're gonna cover that in the next one because, girl, it gets intense. It gets heated. Does anyone die? I don't think anyone, I mean, blood, murder. They can't really die, but one person dies. Anyways, you probably know how it's gonna end, but, you know, the good guys always win. Even though they're not that good, let's be real. They're also rapists and horrible parents, but that's Greek mythology for you. Anyways, it's been a fun time. I need to stop looking at my viewfinder. It's probably covered up. It's probably annoying. And yeah, this is my interpretation of the little prompt, which was vomiting and eating babies. I was gonna do like little skulls and then I fucked it up. And then I was like, ooh, dots. It's campy. You know, dots are usually a sign of poison on animals, so I feel like it connects, but I don't really know. This is really fun. Thank you for joining me. Please watch the next one. This is part 2 of Makeup and Mythos, and I'll see you later. Bye.